Hi, you guys. Happy Wednesday. I'm Kristen, the Run Princess family. We have a very special guest today. I don't know which side she's on, but to me, she's this way. And I'm pretty sure that when you watch this, she'll be over there since I'm the one who's recording it. We have Linda from TRPF. She is one of my fellow admin, and she's been going to all the races with us. So we're today going to talk about recapping marathon weekend, kind of what we thought about it. This was both of our first times going, so it was super kind of crazy and fun, but also borderline terrifying. So there's a lot of mixed emotions. So we're just gonna, Linda, would you like to say anything first before we kind of like kick off and get going? Whoop, whoop.
I just want to say hi, and I'm happy to be here and like chat all things TRPF and runDisney.
Yay! I know, because there's so much to talk about, like runDisney. And one of the reasons why we didn't do it for starting for Wine and Dine was because we wanted to do it 2022 and on going forward. Because I know that we had done quite a few like interviews and stuff in the past for our YouTube and stuff, but we wanted to start fresh at 2022 going forward with like the races. And this will be kind of like a continuously, we're going to be continuing on and doing this. So
and now we have two under our belt now, so we have a little bit more experience knowing what it's like now.
Yeah, because like Princess 2020 is totally different than Wine and Dine. Wine and Dine was completely different than Marathon. I mean, there were a lot of similarities, yes, but like the feeling and everything like that. Like, so I'm sure that once we go past Princess and Spring, and then we go to Wine and Dine, of course, my husband's like going to edit this and he's be like, Wine and Dine? You're forewarning, honey.
It's a thing.
That is if he even watches this. So who am I kidding? He's editing it, so he will find out pretty quickly. I already lost my train of thought because I got so sidetracked about telling my husband that I was going to Wine and Dine. So leave a comment below, you guys. This is our first question. Are you planning on going to any runDisney races? Are you coming to Princess? Are you going to Spring? Are you going to Wine and Dine? Are you running Dopey 2023? We want to hear about it. We want to know what you guys are doing, and we want to celebrate with you guys, and we want to meet you guys, and we want to high five you, air hugs, real hugs if you want to. We are going to dive into to marathon, and Linda was super rad as we were sitting here kind of chit-chatting on what we were talking about. She was taking notes and I was messing around with my desk. So we can see who's really in charge today. So I'm going to let Linda take over now.
So for us, we did, like Kristen and I both personally did the Goofy Challenge. So for us, it was a little different because we did not do Dopey. So we didn't run the first 2 days of the weekend, but all of our roommates were. So we decided to be crazy people and wake up at 2 a.m. on the days we were not racing to go cheer, which sounded like a great idea. And then when you actually get there and you think, oh, I have to wake up at 2 in the morning and I'm not even running and I'm not even getting a medal for this, you kind of start second guessing yourself. But let me tell you, you guys, if you ever get the chance to cheer at the marathon weekend, really probably any race, but I've only ever cheered at marathon. It is like, I mean, I ran in the marathon, so I didn't cheer people during the physical marathon, but the 5 and the 10K, cheering people on and watching people hit milestones that they might not have like been able to hit prior to this was really, really cool. It was a really different experience and it was really rewarding.
Yeah, like you can see it. One of the cool things too about it was because we did do the 5K and the 10K cheering, and we were with Ashlyn from Kelsey's Hope for the 5K, and then she ran the 10K, and then we were with one of our friends, Liz Moosin, for the 10K, which was super phenomenal. But for the 5K, we were able to see the people start and finish. We watched dead last, so we were there probably for like almost 3 hours. I think probably. Cheering people on and to watch people like just crush their goals and to see the happiness and the joy that they had on their faces when they crossed the finish line or when they saw people cheering. You guys, like being able to cheer for somebody, you never really know how much or how important it is until you've seen people cheer for you and then you cheer for somebody, because you are so grateful for both things. So I think that helped us actually for the half and the full.
Yeah.
because we did cheer. We know what it takes to get up early and to cheer for people, to stand there for a while and to just scream at people. And like we had like mini hands screaming, we had microphones, we were like,
Bells.
we doubled the miles from the 5K and the 10K. All of our roommates, we had like double their miles because we were jumping around like a little. I remember specifically a little kid was trying to give me a high five and he couldn't do it. So I ran with him until he could, and then I ran back. And I kept, you just keep on. I mean, obviously we're trying to get not stay on the course because we don't want to get in trouble or whatever. But it was freaking rad.
Especially for the 5K. The 5K started right in the parking lot of Epcot. So there was a little bit more leeway. Like we could run back and forth a little bit just on the other side of the cones without physically being on the course. So like, we'd see people that we knew and we would run a little bit with them and scream and cheer them on and clap. And we had people that we didn't even know thanking us for being there. And I was tagged in photos on Facebook of complete strangers, like taking pictures, cheering, saying that they could hear us from when we had the microphones for the 10K.
We were really loud.
People said that they could hear us like a mile before they got to us. So that was kind of cool. But it made me appreciate, I've always appreciated people cheering for me, even though I've never had anyone like personally cheer for me, but everyone is cheering everybody on at a Disney race. So I think when I was running the half and the full, I appreciated it that much more, like Kristen had said, because we now know what it takes. And we know it takes even more to cheer for the full because it is a much longer time frame that people are sitting there. Some people got to Magic Kingdom at like 4 a.m. to secure a spot and wait for us to run through Magic Kingdom. And like, that was incredible.
Probably like 5:30 or 6, but yeah, still early. I was like, I don't think we started the marathon. I don't think we started the marathon until 5, which we will get to. We will totally get to that. But yeah, I know it was cool too because since we cheered for the 5K and then we came back the next morning and then we cheered for the 10K, it was really cool too because people recognized us. They were like, oh my gosh, like you were the people who were like cheering for us yesterday morning. And and by the 10K, they were coming up and being like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for cheering for us. And then when we were during the half, people recognized us again. I mean, and this time we're running in completely different outfits. Like we had our hair braided. Like we did not look anything like we looked like we woke up for the 5K and the 10K. She had a wig on during the 10K. So how anybody can like tell us apart from like that is crazy. I was gonna say something else. Oh, for the 5K though, we did wait until even the cleanup crew came, which I thought that was super fun. Like, I feel like that they were really, really appreciative too. Like we have, I posted a video somewhere, but like, we were like, give us a high five. Like, because what they do, the people who like runDisney, the people who do all of the maintenance and who set up and tear down and do all of that kind of stuff, their job is so important and it is so extremely hard because they're having to do so much movement within such a small amount of time. And so it was really cool to kind of like just be able to cheer for them too and still catch the last runner.
I think we were the loudest for them and they were the most appreciative. Like their smiles were incredible. And for the record, if you ever get a chance to watch the cleanup crew, they're like impeccable. They're like a well-oiled machine and they just like scoop everything up like magic. And it's like, how was that even a race set up 2 minutes ago?
Nothing was there.
Yeah. And all the trash, everything. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So if you guys ever get to cheer anything, it doesn't even have to be a runDisney. I have cheered before. Well, I passed out water at the Encinitas half marathon, like 2019 or 2018 or something like that. And I took my kid because I wanted him to see how hard it was. 2019 because I was getting into running. I wanted him to see how hard it is to actually run, like just to run. And so I wanted him to like just be appreciative and to give back. And so we passed out water and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And I think he learned a lot. But it's a completely different vibe from runDisney, because when you're cheering runDisney, even the people who are like passing out water or cold bananas or whatever, like there's just joy.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't any joy, but I remember specifically telling this guy, you got this, you've got like 3 miles left. Never tell anybody that you only have this much left, because they will like, the guy was like, I want to die right now. And I was like, well, let's not do that. Just carry on. I mean, there's no Mickey, but keep on going.
I mean,
So.
even the one of the volunteers, I think it was the half. He was a really funny guy, and I had seen a video of him the day before on somewhere on Facebook, and he was like, you know, trying to make people laugh. He's like, I got your vegan water, your sugar-free water, your, you know, water's water, but he was like, everything he could say, he was like making it up. And I told him, I was like, oh my gosh, I saw you on the internet yesterday. And he was like, his smile got huge, and I could hear him as I was running away. And he goes to his friends, he's like, I'm on the internet. Like, it was so funny.
Oh, they're so
But anyway,
fun.
so thank your volunteers. Thank your cheerers.
Yes,
thank your volunteers.
thank you.
It will make their day.
Thank you guys. And like from us, just TRPF, I don't know if anybody's ever going to watch this. Like, whatever. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this. So let's just leave it at that. We hope so. We're funny. But thank you for cleanup crew and people who volunteer to, I know Heather Jurgensen was passing out candy, like, and it was just amazing to just kind of know somebody who's doing it. Our friend Danielle Neptopley, I'm really bad at last names. She was passing,
I said N.
Danielle N. She is part of TRPF. She was passing out medals at the half, and she screamed our names, and we came running over. It was really I probably won't remember, so I'll just dive into this really fast. The guy like totally handed me a medal, and as I was putting it on, she's like, Kristen, and I was like, I start taking it off, and I like handed it back to the guy, and he was like, you don't want your medal? And I was like, no, my friend's over there. It was a very awkward moment that I will cherish forever. Okay, any more about cheering?
No, I think we covered a lot, and it's really fun and really rewarding, and everyone should do it at least once in their life.
Yeah. And I know that we did have girls too, who did the half and the full, and the way that they raved about it, they absolutely loved it. They had so much fun cheering, because you can go for the full and the half, you can go to different places throughout the course. With the 5K and the 10K, it's hard. Like, we walked right where the stage is, we walked over to the right just a smidgen, and we could cheer from there, and then we walked to the finish line, and that's it, the 5K. And the 10K was a little bit more difficult to find a spot that didn't have the double railing, because they want to make sure that nobody's sneaking in and out and like cheating and stuff, I think. But yeah, we ended up taking in like a little ride on the golf cart and trying to find something.
I just remembered at the very end when we were standing there cheering at the 10K, because we were at a portion that didn't have those barriers, and we were dressed up in costume. And I remember the last person on the bikes, the medic bike, they like came up to see what was wrong with us. They were like, why aren't you running?
Oh yeah.
They thought we were injured.
No, we're fine. Thanks so much. We're just cheering. We dressed up for the 10K. Well, we dressed up for the 5K. The 5K was like, we were just runDisney swag. That's what our thing was, because we wanted to look like we had just woken up. Because for some reason in my head, I thought that would be hilarious. And then we looked back at photos, and I was like, this is not these. We should never do this again. It's not. Don't ever let me choose. But
translate like you thought.
It did not translate well on video. I can tell you that. And then for the 10K, we were a part of the Inside Out with like quite a few girls, and Dan
and Gabe, 2 boys,
and Gabe. I really hope you watch this, because man, no one understands this except unless you were there at marathon. So anyways, so
the runDisney swag that we wore to the 5K, we picked up at the expo.
EXPO.
I got the O. So expo is an adventure of its own.
I am not gonna lie. I remember going to Princess 2020, and my friend was just like, we're gonna be in and out expo. And I was like, okay, cool. And like, you grab your stuff really fast and you go take pictures and then you leave. Right. And I think that's what you are normally supposed to do. We have not done that at all. It takes us like 5 hours, both wine and dine and marathon, which is why I know that legit it will take us a long time for Princess and for Spring.
Mhm.
We make an event out of it. We have we like to be the first, like one of like in the first, if you've never done an expo, what you do is you go into like this waiting hall, and it is just lines and lines and lines of this, and then it dips out of ESPN zone, and if the line is just long, and you could be standing in line for hours. And we like to be there, one of the first people, and then we grab all of our stuff, and then we overtake a corner. And this has happened both Wine and Dine and Marathon weekend, to where we've had like between 20 and 30 people in one corner, just like,
And it's
there's
cool
like
because,
close drawing and everything.
I mean, people for Marathon, people just knew to go to that corner. Like our group, our friends and our TRPF family kind of knew where to go find us. So it was like cool that we had such a big group. And then like, you know, like I'm trying on, you know, a size medium of the jacket. And then I realized that they made the jacket for 10-year-olds. So I need the XL, and I just scream out who has the XL. They were really small. They
They
really
run,
size.
you guys, they run small.
And so like you just yell out what size you need, and someone throws it at you, and you're like, oh cool, I don't have to go get a new one, because you're all just sharing sizes to try stuff on. And but we were respectful too. We made sure that everybody had the original sizes they wanted. Then you can go get whatever size you need. But we also made sure we cleaned our area. Like there were big piles I saw that other groups had left on the floor. No, we picked up our stuff and we put it in the pile. Like they have designated tables where you like return stuff. So we made sure we put back whatever we took that we didn't use. But honestly, it was almost like everything we took, someone ended up buying. Like there was not much left over.
It's very true. And then FOMO happens, and then you see somebody buy something and you're like, well, now I need that. So, but just, I mean, rule of thumb, you guys be respectful, because they're doing their job, just like we want to go in and go shopping and stuff. You don't have to put things back. I mean, if you're taking 23 things, if you put things back, it'll be like a half an hour by the time you find everything, because you're just grabbing things at this point. There was like 2 or 3 tables that you could just throw stuff on. And I think that was really helpful. My
Pro tip also, if something is sold out on the shelves and you're looking for something specific in a size, don't forget to actually go check those tables, because someone might have put it back. But it is kind of, it can be chaotic, because people know that they sell out fast. Those Spirit jerseys, or was it the jackets? It was either the Spirit jersey or the jacket, maybe even both, was sold out within like 3 to 4 hours. So people literally are going and just grabbing everything. So like the earlier you can go, the better. If you're going with a group, like, you know, if there's 2 or 3 of you and you know you want 3 different things, split up. Grab your stuff, meet back up.
And also too, you guys be patient and kind too. Like everybody in there is, they're all doing the same thing. We all want kind of like the same things. So just be patient and kind to the other shoppers, to the people who are restocking. Let's say like you out there and it's only been an hour and they ran out of size. I guarantee that they did not run out of size. There's a worker that is working super hard to try and get the rest of the stuff out. You don't have to freak out quite yet. But like come like Friday or Saturday, you will not find certain items by any way, shape, or form. And I think it also has to do, honestly, with like COVID and like the stuff. I don't know if the whole Long Beach thing is still happening or whatever, but like there's just there's stuff on, there's like stuff on, like they just can't get to stuff. They can't get to items. And honestly though too, like 2020 Princess, the only one that I can like keep on relating back to, there were so many people that they had to have so much swag. And Wine and Dine, I think a lot of people canceled out because of the fear of the unknown. They didn't know how it was going to go. They didn't know about COVID. Like there was just so much fear going into that weekend. And there's no shame if you went, there's no shame if you didn't go and you pulled out. Like that is between you and yourself. That has nothing to do with anybody else. So if anybody's,
and whatever decision you made for yourself is the right one. So
100%. So Wine and Dine, there was definitely, oh man, I had the numbers before, and because we had talked about it a while ago. Wine and Dine was very, very small. Marathon, it picked up momentum, I think, but it was still half of the people that they had from from 2020 from previous years.
Yeah.
It was half of the people. So like in reality, they didn't need to have a whole lot of stuff because you guys were like 10,000 people. That's a rough number. I think there was like a little bit more, but I think that there was like originally like 25,000 like the year before,
Yeah.
and there's like 12 or
I
13. Literally
think
half. It was cut in half.
16,000 is like sticking out in my brain for marathon numbers. But
Comment below if you remember what the numbers are, because neither of us know. I've got my. I mean, we could look it up, but
for example, like there was only one booth to check in for the Goofy challenge. One booth, so there was zero Goofy swag because they're not going to make swag for like the least amount of people that are participating. You know, so like you had to be there early to get stuff because it was just. There was only one option and then it was gone.
Yeah. And one of the new things that they did for both Wine and Dine and Marathon that they did not do for Princess is self-checkout. So now you can self-checkout. It is good and bad all at the same time. It's good because it's a whole lot easier and it's quicker. It's bad when you leave stuff in your basket and then they run out of the item that you purchased. Which happened to me, which I will personally never, I will never self-checkout again because of that reason. I bought the Goofy button and I bought the pin, and I bought the Marathon pin, and it would have just been as easy. Because of the self-checkout, nobody is going to the registers.
That's
so
true.
There's like no line to the register. And if my phone kept on giving me problems, like Kate O'Malley had to help me a few times, like another Katie helped me, and there's just Courtney eventually had to pay for my stuff, and then I had to like Venmo her. Like it was just like this crazy, like I always had problems, bless you. I kept on having problems. So like at that point, just take your stuff up. There's no line, just go do it. It takes like 2 seconds, you know.
Whereas for me, I thought it was wonderful because mine went very smoothly, and I like personally being a pass holder that the discount is right, like it doesn't show up until you check out, so don't freak out if you're adding stuff to your cart and you don't see the the discount on it. But when you do go to the checkout screen, the discount applies, so it's nice because you can do it from your phone. Just make sure your credit cards are up to date on the app, like that you have the right one that you want to use connected to your app ahead of time, because that will make it go a lot smoother too. And you can use it in, like, once that's set up, you can use it in some of the stores in the park too, like the Emporium on Main Street or World of Disney at Disney Springs.
Yeah. And you can also use it for food too. Throughout all the, like, at least that's how they are at Disneyland. I feel like we didn't step foot into any parks the past 2 trips. So another cool thing that they kind of had, I know that in the previously they had like characters that you could like see and, you know, take photos with and stuff. They do have like the numbers. So like the 3.1, the 6.2, the half and the full. So it's just 26.2 and 13.1. And then they have like the little characters in the front too, of like, I remember Pluto being there and maybe Goofy. I don't remember really seeing anybody else. But what we also did too was, I mean, again, this is probably why it took 5 hours for us, but it's a great time to just take photos with your friends too. Like, take advantage, you guys, of doing these photos, because that is part of the Run Disney experience. It's fun to have those memories.
It was also one of the only places that I've seen Disney allow you to take off your mask indoors for photos if you felt comfortable. And they had a big giant replica of the 50th castle, which was cool too.
Yeah, I really liked our group photos from that.
I'm like still salty that the 2 expos I went to prior, I went through so fast. I did not even know characters were there. Someone tried to tell me that the other day, and I was like, no, they've never had characters. And they're like, I have a photo. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'll put your photo away.
So anyway,
I didn't get any photos with, like, at Princess 2020. I didn't take any photos. We zoomed through the expo, and the expo, you guys, is literally like a race day. Like, that's where you guys get to meet people You get to hang out. It's just a great way to, we had our TRPF kind of like corner or whatever, but like we saw so many other like Instagrammers and Facebookers that like we've made these connections with because of the Run Disney community. And that's a great place to meet other people too, because you know that you're going to be there for a while. Everybody has to pick up their bibs at some point in time. I do suggest though, like this is a really, really big thing. Go shopping first because nobody can take your bibs.
Right.
If there is like something that you are dying for, get that first. And then, so like ESPN is like this big zone, right? And it's in one of the centers that you have the shopping. And then you have to go to a different building to get your bibs with the expo floor. So you'll see like Sparkle, you'll see UFOs.
That was even a different building. There were 3 different areas you had to go.
Did we go to 3 different buildings?
Yeah. It used to be 2 prior to pandemic.
Was I already drinking? Just kidding.
As far as
don't drink until you're done.
My memory, if it serves me correct,
it's 3 buildings.
It used to be 2, but now you go into the first arena, whatever, for the Run Disney merch. You take your pictures with the numbers and the castles. Then you left, and then you went diagonal to a building across the way.
You passed the Joffrey's.
Yep, to go to get your bib, and then we came out of that. We went back upstairs, and then we took like a left.
Yeah,
and we went past the ESPN Zone Cafe thing, and then that's where we went to the expo. So there were 3 different areas. Yeah,
I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I can't remember who it was, but we were talking about if there's coffee at ESPN, and I was like, no, there's not. And all of a sudden I was like, there's Joffrey's, and I'm like, oh, there is coffee.
But it was closed. So that's why we tried to go and it was closed and we didn't know why.
Oh, okay. I don't like Joffrey's. Hate me. Just kidding. Don't hate me. That was just like straight fighting words. Everyone's going to be like, what? I'm sorry. I'm a Starbucks girl. You cannot take that out of me. I will not. That is a different conversation. We have a whole YouTube video on just that. No, I'm just kidding. We don't. Right. And I'm kidding, but we could.
But yeah, the other, like the expo part is really cool because they have backdrops that you can take even more photos with, because then you have your bib.
Yeah.
And so you can take pictures with your bib. And then they have all the vendors. Like there was everything from jewelry to, what was it? Endure Jewelry. Is that the right company?
I ordered earrings and I haven't gotten them yet, so I don't know. And I don't even know what the company was.
I think it's that company. And then there was a Sparkle there, which is cool because we know the Sparkle ladies, so we always go say hi to them. And
UFOs. You can buy UFOs there too, you guys, and it's a great place.
Yeah,
it's a great way to try them on. They will let you walk around for a really long time. Like I was there for a solid half an hour because I knew I needed to get some UFOs. I was trying to find different ones and ended up buying these like really comfortable ones that I wear like almost every day.
And they had an area where you could go get KT tape done for you. So if you know you might need that, and they told you how to take care of it in order to like keep it on for the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that, but
they will wrap it because Kat got it done.
What else did they have? Oh, Jeff Galloway was there. You could go take a picture with Jeff Galloway. Yeah. And they have all the medals out to like display, which is cool. Like even past ones. I
don't think I've ever even looked at that.
They had like different types of like visors and like, so if you feel like your costume is missing something or you forget something or whatever, like go check out Expo. There's a ton of stuff.
I mean, that's what I did for 2020. I did not like my outfits and I went to Sparkle and it was Elise and Carrie. Well,
that's
Carrie
what I did at mine.
Oh, that's funny. And then you guys, right then and there, I showed her a picture of what I wanted and what I had, and I was like, I need help. I was like in tears, bawling. And Carrie was like, okay, let's do this. And so every single time, like during Wine and Dine and Marathon, Kelly's been working, and we just go say hi to Kelly. Sparkle's a fantastic company, you guys.
That's where I got my blue Sparkle skirt, was the day before the race.
You were touching your hair, and I was like, what did it do to your hair?
It didn't do anything.
But you just messed up by because I just touched it and that was all.
I'm not used to my hair being straight, so I keep touching it and I apologize. I've noticed that. Now for the entire rest of the video, everyone's gonna be like watching me touch my hair.
Comment below on how many times she touches her hair. Just kidding.
So yeah,
Um,
if you expo like us, block off a few hours.
yeah, there's a great place too that we always get lunch. It's in the ESPN zone building. It's actually in the ESPN building. They have like some vegan options, and they've got beer. And then you get do you have your beer cup on you or no?
And it's
You
upstairs.
packed it. You packed it. Anyways, sorry. She was like walking around her house this morning and she was like, I have like in deep conversation with Mike, and she's just like, I have to pack these. And he's like, what? It's just
But the reason why, if you get the reusable, it says ESPN zone, it's got glitter all over it, and you can get cider or beer in it. If you bring it back to either that location or to the finish lines at the races, pro tip, it's like almost half price to get a refill.
and we didn't know that. We found out after we got back from Wine and Dine. So like a helpful hint. I mean, and I know that it's kind of a pain in the butt to like fly with them or whatever. So maybe buy one and then continue it on, carry it on. As you walk out of, eating lunch and grabbing your bib and stuff like that, they have the numbers as well too. Like they got like these big signs too that you can take photos with, and then there's stuff on the ground that you can take photos with. I mean, I feel like ESPN is just such a great place to take photos with your friends and stuff, because let's be also too, like you're happy, you're excited, you're not sleep deprived yet, and you've had good meals all before all of the races. So like, and this is pro tip right here, because by the time you are done on Sunday, you are exhausted, you haven't slept. When was the last time you drank water? Because it was probably 2 days ago. And, and your feet hurt and you want to cry because you have so many ridiculous emotions. It's insane. So get the photos, you guys. Like, use that opportunity to like take really good photos with like your friends and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Because not that it's turning into like a horrible weekend, but like it's good memories. It's good
Your
memories.
Instagram will thank you.
Just don't wear pajamas to cheering because you'll regret it.
Those runDisney sweatpants are really comfortable though. If you
They
get
really
to
are.
Expo and you see the black runDisney sweatpants, buy them.
You're welcome. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're done with Expo because
Yep.
All right. Half, and let's talk about half. What did we do for the half, Linda?
The half, we did a Musketeers group, which was an experience of itself because we had like 30 to 40 people. I feel it was a large group. Some of which I knew beforehand, some of which I didn't, and it was really cool because I got to know people through a group chat, and like finally meet them in person the day of, and you all matched, so photos looked amazing.
Sorry, my mom just came and I can hear her.
That was funny because my mom just called. I had to ignore her call. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. We're both saying sorry. Different moms, but both sorry.
And I lost my train of thought. Oh, and it was just cool because when we went, do you want me to talk about the group photo?
Yeah. You can just have fun.
When we wanted to make sure we got a group photo with all these girls because we really did become like a little family. Like leading up to the race, the group chats that happened, like it really, over a costume, surprisingly, really bonded us. So don't say no to group costumes because they can be a lot more than you think. But anyway, we wanted to get a group photo. So we went and we did that in front of the DJ, and the DJ is really cool. DJ CJ, he's really, really neat and outgoing, and he saw us doing this and he saw how many Musketeers were like dressed up together. So he played the Mickey Mouse Club song for us, like the old school one. And we all immediately stood up like it was planned, but it wasn't. And we just kind of like linked arms and like swayed and sang the song, and everyone was crying because it was just this beautiful moment. And the race hadn't even started yet.
Yeah, it was it was absolutely amazing. I think going on talking about like group photos or group costumes and stuff, I think that this was really like a good one because it was a sparkle skirt and it was a shirt. Like that's what it was.
Mhm.
It wasn't like this extreme outfit of anything to where everybody had to buy a whole bunch of pieces and stuff. It was, this is what we're wearing and this is what we're doing. You can be in it or you don't have to be in it. And it was simple, and it was stuff that people had already had. And then we had Musketeer like ears and stuff. And I think that that's what kept it nice and like simplistic, but also just like, it was really, really awesome because every time we were on the course, it's like you saw somebody and you were like, oh my gosh, like, and you would run with them for a little bit. And it was just really, really cool. They had these, I know that Anna and Maria carried one for a while, a Musketeer side. Mouscapace. And they had different pacers. And it was cool, you guys, because for me, I didn't really know anybody. I knew like 3 people. And then some of the people that I did know were in a different one. So like going in and I'm like, I'm not even running with people I know. This is awesome. But you get to know somebody on a course so much, and it's like you're doing it together. So it's this like natural bonding thing, and it's like not weird. But it was
because you're all there for a common goal. You've all been through the same ish training to get there, and you all know like what you give up and sacrifice to be there and what you're physically going through. So it's kind of like there's always a common denominator. So you can always talk about something.
And it was really sweet too, because like we didn't know them very well.
Right.
And here they are, they're like, oh my gosh, come on, like come take a picture with us. And we were like, you want us in your photo? Like, are you sure? Like, you don't even know us. But it was so cool because there was like, you know, like 10 or 20 of us in every single photo, you know, until Magic Kingdom made us, and then that was it. But
and now I talk to
that later
every day.
Yeah, right. And now like we're really good friends with them. So going on from like the main stage of like the outfit, simplicity and beautifulness, going on the course, taking pictures and stuff. We're going to talk about pace and race later for sure. But going into Magic Kingdom, how would you explain that?
I'm writing down pace and race, so I make sure we talk about it later. So Magic Kingdom was really cool because I feel like when we got there, it was still slightly dark, which if I had never run through the castle before, that was a brand new experience for me. I've never run down Main Street. And I was so excited to do that. And I didn't expect to be fast enough to get there before the sun came up. So it was kind of cool that it was still slightly dark. And just like to turn the corner to run down Main Street typically makes me emotional anyway, no matter how many times I've been there. I've been there 1 week and go the next week and still cried. But to turn the corner and just like see all of those people sitting there cheering for you. We happen to know some amazing women that were on the left side by the Emporium that were like there specifically to cheer for our group, and just seeing the castle all lit up. There's just no way to describe it. There really isn't. Like we have beautiful weather, and then you kind of have to detour around the castle. You don't get to go straight there. So you go through Tomorrowland and go around. So you come up through the back of it. That is kind of where we made a mistake that day. They are really good with timing. If you would like a photo by the castle, by all means, don't let us scare you. Do it. They are really, really fast. They tell you to either keep going to Frontierland or to take a right to get in line. And they kept saying 5-second lines, 5-second lines. And they really are.
They really, really are. There's like 6.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not jumping in, but there's like 6 people, you guys. And they're like,
yeah. And there's nobody behind you in the photo. So it is just you. They're like really streamlined. And you can take your jumping photo, or you can just stand there and do whatever you want. But we somehow kept jumping into other group photos because we had such FOMO that we weren't going to be in all these photos.
It's like 10 minutes later when it was a 5-second photo.
Yeah, don't do that. Take your
Magic Kingdom legit ate us.
Because then, you know, later on in the race, we were getting more slightly worried about balloon ladies getting closer to us. And we were like, where did that buffer go? Oh, the buffer went to Magic Kingdom.
It went to Magic Kingdom. And I mean, it's a great place to do magic, to get lost in.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 times that you get to run through Magic Kingdom, and that's Marathon and Princess, and that's it. You don't do that for the other ones. So it's something quite amazing, and just it's a beautiful, beautiful experience to be able to run through it. I can't believe we were there at night. I don't even remember that. That's how much I remember.
I mean, as far as I know, in my head it was dark. I'm gonna laugh if I look at the photos and it's like bright sunshine. But
it was bright and sunny.
yeah, it's so I don't know, it was phenomenal to do that.
Yeah.
I'm excited that we get to do it again for Princess because now I know a little bit better.
Yeah.
About what to do. It's also a really good place to use the bathroom because if you've never done a Run Disney race, the parks, even though the parks aren't open yet, the bathrooms are. So if you don't want to use a porta potty, just, it might be a slightly longer line, but if that's really important to you, check out the course map.
I would wait. Pro tip, guys. If you can hold your potty, like definitely go to the bathroom before the race starts. But if you can hold it as far as you can, because even when you get in through Epcot and stuff, I don't think that there's a lot of bathrooms. Magic Kingdom is just a great place to use the restrooms. I think other than that, the course was just fun. There was, freeway and there was,
Yeah.
whatever.
Always
I don't think that there was anything other than that extravagant about the half marathon, other than I think it was fun. I think that they did a great job on waters. And I think you got maybe one cold banana. But there was water at every mile, not at the mile markers, but almost every mile, I want to say. And the characters were great. I think that and the character lines, you guys too, like don't ever compare the 5K character lines to like the 10K and the half character lines, because the 10K and the half, they're balloon ladies and the lines go a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
The 5K, because there's no balloon ladies, I think that the line goes a little bit slower. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I've been listening to like a lot more reviews leading up to this to kind of like to gauge where I was at, to be like, okay, are we like kind of on par? And a lot of people said the same thing. So what is one thing real fast from the half that just stood out to you?
I mean, my biggest memory from the half is making the friendships and running through the castle. Those are, I mean, I know I already said them, but those are the two biggest things. I think fueling a little bit better for me, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not used to eating the right type of fuel while I run. There was definitely like a honey stinger giveaway at some point too during the half.
Oh, that's right. I think for me, I think my favorite moment was going to the stage and doing the Musketeer thing. I truly believe in big groups. I also believe, like, we're going to start talking about the marathon. And I guess that this is a really great segue, because we did such a big group for the half, and the half is I mean, it's 13 miles. It's a long way to run with somebody. We did not run. We lost everybody because we were getting into different photos at Magic Kingdom that we were like trying to find them the entire time, and we're like, we're never going to find them again. I think we maybe found them at the end. I think that was probably where it was, but it was like mile 5 or 6 that like Magic Kingdom was there, and we were just like, okay, so like so long, but we were able to take pictures with like everybody else and stuff too, which was really, really cool.
I changed my mind. My favorite memory from the half.
It was not the Magic Kingdom, guys. Okay, go ahead.
It technically happened at Magic Kingdom, but it actually came like a few weeks later when the Run Disney recap video came out, and a photo of us taking a Magic Kingdom photo was actually in the recap video. That's my favorite moment.
That was, yeah. I mean, not them like capturing it, but like Magic Kingdom. I'm 100% team Disneyland. For anybody who knows, I'm from San Diego. Like, Disneyland is my heart. And the only reason why I've started going to Walt Disney World is because of the races. So I've never been a Walt Disney World person. Like, I could just go to Disneyland and California Adventure and be completely like, that's my backyard, and that's where I have my special memories. Anyways, I love Magic Kingdom because we got to create those memories with like Tracy and Selene and Ashley and Jackie and Jenny, and we took all of these photos. I mean, which is why it took like 15 or 20 minutes. We literally were there jumping from picture to picture, and then we did solo photos, and it was fun, you guys. And that is the beautifulness of runDisney. You get to take a photo in front of the castle by yourself with not thousands of people in the middle of the day. It is just you embracing this wonderful moment of how far you've already come and how far you get to go. That's why we do these races, to see everyone's joyful smiles, and to take all of these amazing photos that you don't get these opportunities to do while you're there at the regular parks. So going into marathon, it was Linda, me, and Jess, and we all dressed as Captain America. And then Jess was Hydra, which was super phenomenal, but she's really fast, so she was like, so I think we have a few pictures with her. Yeah, we were chasing her, but we did not do the Avengers justice, because by day four, it is like you are tired. I had not slept the night before. I woke them all up bawling at like 10 o'clock at night. It was, I mean, if you were there, you know exactly what happened. So there was just, I think that with the marathon weekend, just in general, going into marathon, there was like from the moment you land, you know that at the end of the weekend, you have to run a marathon.
There's an underlying terror the entire weekend.
And it's normal. It is 100% normal. Everybody feels it. But even as you're like going into that Sunday of like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this full, you're like, am I even going to be able to really complete this? Like, it's a very, very terrifying thing. Because if you've never run farther than like 26 miles, which is insane, it's a lot to grasp, you know? And so it was just us three, and I go ahead and talk about the morning experience, and then we'll kind of shoot on in.
That morning was a little different than us. Our usual, you know, from Wine and Dine, we did all three of the races. For the 5, the 10, and the half, for marathon, we kind of like, we were always in front of the stage. You know where you can find us. We're there for a little bit, and then you mosey on to your corrals. That morning was different. I think you could almost cut the tension with a knife, because we all kind of felt the same way, whether we were admitting it or not. We all kind of felt that way. And so we just all like immediately said our goodbyes to anyone that wasn't in our corral, and just
I didn't even go to where we normally met up. I literally was just like, I'm not going, guys, bye. And I walked.
Yep. And we just go straight to your corral, which is, by the way, it's like 1.25 miles or something. Like, it's not
for marathon weekend, it is so far.
So we just went straight to our corrals, and we had kind of brought breakfast. Some of us brought breakfast with us, and like throwaway blankets to sit on. And we were only like 3 people deep from the start of our corral, which made us feel a little bit better, because if you know what the balloon ladies are, you know that the further up in your corral, the more of a buffer you have. So that's a main reason we wanted to get there and just kind of like sit and relax and try to calm our nerves before we go do the biggest physical accomplishment we've ever done.
Even talking about it, I'm starting to have PTSD. I'm starting to get anxiety just talking about it. So we sat in the very, very front of Corral 3, like S3. You could see Corral S1 and S2, and there was like nobody in them. So we were butted up to the front, to the very front, where they call everything out.
I think there was only 1 wave in each of those, maybe 2.
Oh my gosh. It was
because so S1 was pretty much the elite runners, which are like super fast, and we knew
good for you.
We love you guys.
Amazing. You guys are phenomenal.
And then S2, I believe, were the runDisney club members. Comment below if I'm wrong. Again, but I'm pretty sure that's what awesome. It was. And then us.
And then us. We get the corral that they place us in. So when we first started,
what, 6?
Huh? Yeah, they had 6.
There were 6.
So we all went out, and normally there is between the 10K and the half, there is a buffer. They do really extended waves for people between them and the balloon ladies. Like that's a normal thing. For the full, I just learned like within the past like week or two, that's not a thing. that because there's so many people and they have to open the parks up, they pushed the people so fast. So like, I think we had like a good solid 45 minutes or to an hour for the half marathon. Like we had a nice buffer between us and the balloon ladies during the half. During the full, I think it was maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It was, they pushed people out so freaking fast. It was, from what I heard from the back, was that they would call the people and then these people would have to run and then they would call them and then they would go. And that's how it was. They were pushing them out. So by the time they were done, I think it was maybe a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour. Everybody was out. There was no,
I want to say it was like, I was just gonna say, I want to say, I think I looked when we started, I think it was between S3 and the balloon ladies, I think it was 24 minutes.
Okay.
So a half hour
it was
total.
Fast.
Makes a lot of
sense.
sense.
So to not have that comfort, the balloon ladies are like legit, they're right behind you and you've never run a marathon before. It is absolutely terrifying. And then so we were walking with some of our friends, Steph and Dan, because she physically was not, her doctor did not clear her to run. So like she was walking the entire thing. So we decided to walk for the first like few miles or whatever. And as you're doing this zigzag, so it's a solid few miles of just zigzagging like this. And as you're coming back on the zigzags, you see runDisney taking everything down. I mean, I get that they have, again, we praised them during the 5K and the 10K, but when you're doing a full and having people take things down when you're only on mile 3 and 4 is like a horrific thought of like, oh my gosh, like this is, and you guys, the marathon is all about like mind over matter. It is 100% mental. It is so scary. And don't let us defer you, because the word defer you? Nope. Deter you. Deter is that deter. A word?
Yeah.
Comment below if deter is a word. Oh my god, what is happening? What that word that you know what I'm saying. Cool story. I love YouTube and how like you can't edit these things out. Y'all are just gonna get us and how we are lives on Mondays. But it's very scary to watch them start taking things down when you have only hit mile 3 or 4 and you still have 22 miles to go. Like it's so scary. So you start walking a little bit faster and then you start panicking.
And not to mention on the other path, you can see the hand cyclists, which are amazing athletes. And it was actually kind of cool to watch, followed by like the first place girl. Oh gosh, I can't think of her name. Brittany,
but she's amazing because she won all 4 of them, but she's also an Olympian.
But we could see her running that way, so it's you can see
and that's like mile 8, 10, 12, 15, 30. I don't know, and that's like mile end.
You know they're on like mile 10, and she's running faster than I will ever run in my entire life. That was cool. You got a thumbs up. So you see her going that way, and then you see balloon ladies on the other side, and it was I remember I asked Dan a few times. You're like caught in the middle, and you're like, I remember asking Dan like, how close are they? But it was confusing because like you're literally doing like the figure 8 or like the clover, like if you're it was like the up and down. It was up and down, and it was 3 or 4 really, really, really long extended ones. So it was just, don't let that get to you if that's the same course. I don't know if it's the same course every year. Because they switched it for this year, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But like, you just have to keep, like you said, it's mind over matter. You just have to remember you're going at your own pace and just put your head forward and go. Yeah. So when we got to Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom is definitely farther during the full on the full than it is during the half. So I think it was well far down there. Mile like 8-ish. I don't know. You guys, I feel like we should have had like all of these things down, and we didn't do that. So sorry. We get lost. Don't ask us. At some mile during marathon, we did not get eaten at Magic Kingdom. So like, that was nice. But it was also like in the back of your mind, you know, that like you have so far to go. So we did take a picture with Goofy because we did do the Goofy challenge. And that was the one thing that I like really, really wanted to do.
But Linda, so as we're all walking, I saw our girlfriend Jackie, and so she was speed walking, and I tried keeping up with her, and she just walks really, really fast. And then Linda and I ended up meeting up again, without texting either. So you guys, this is like huge miracles.
Oh,
Not that
that's
it's
right.
miracles, because every single time, huh?
You wanted to run sooner, and I was having an internal debate. I was like, do I walk for half of this and rest my legs and then run strong the other half? Or do I run now and save the walking for when it's hot out? I went back and forth on that 70 million times, but I decided to walk at first. So
And I panicked and I just started running. And then I quickly realized that there's no way in heck I can keep up with this pace. So I started walking, and then all of a sudden Linda was like there, and we ended up doing Magic Kingdom again together, which was nice. So it was just both times that we got to do it. And then we ended up taking photos. We saw people there like cheering us on again. And and it's cool too. This was the one really cool thing that I liked. Having your name on your shirt during the half was really, really cool, because people are like screaming your name. They're like, Kristen, Linda, Stephanie, Australia, like they're saying all of our names. So it's just like, they don't actually know us, but they really truly want us to like succeed at what we're doing and to have fun. People remember you who are cheering from the half. They remember you from the full, and they kept on cheering us. And so it was like really fun. And then also too, like with the Run Disney community, the more races you do, the more people you get to know. And not everybody does a marathon, not everybody does a half, not everybody does a 5 or a 10. You know people, so you start screaming out people's names. And it was such a great experience just for that moment, because a lot of people tend to be in Magic Kingdom because that's a great place to kind of like cheer, because you're already happy, and then they get to experience watching people run through like Magic Kingdom, like down Main Street and stuff like that. So I'm just proud of us for not getting eaten at Magic Kingdom.
We didn't even do the castle photo that day. We were like,
we got that's not gonna happen. Not today, castle.
Nope.
In my head I said something else, and then I was like, oh.
But it's cool too, because if you haven't done Run Disney before, it's cool because you get to run through the backstage areas a lot of times to get in and out of the parks. So that's like a fun perk. And like they have like different parts of the parade out sometimes, like you can see floats and just different things that you wouldn't necessarily normally see. I remember that running out of Magic Kingdom.
One of the cool things about the marathon is that you get to do all 4 parks. So you kind of do this like little thing of Epcot, and then you do Magic Kingdom, and then you do Animal Kingdom, and then you do Hollywood Studios, and then you do Epcot. So in the back of my mind, I was counting parks, and that's kind of like one of the big things that got me through it. And I guess I'll say that later. So I don't know, like it's really, really fun to be able to run through all of the parks. Like I've never been to all the parks. Like I think I've been to Animal Kingdom maybe once or twice. So like being able to go through all of them, and at every single park having people cheer, I think was so amazing. And each one kind of had like a really fun, they had different fun characters, and it was just, I don't know, it was fun. It was scary, but it was rare so much characters. Fun.
They're usually the rare one, and the longer the distance, the more rare.
Like we saw Doug and Carl.
Say that with a Boston
which was
accent.
like one of the ones that I was like, I have to stop. But there were also photos that we stopped that we like didn't get, and somebody else did, and they sent it to us, and I was like, I don't even remember stopping for this.
Right?
Like, because my thing was, and this is, and Linda and I had kind of talked about this before, was that I was like, I'm going to keep my phone out, but I'm only going to shoot mile markers and entering into parks. That was my thing. And I don't know why. I have no idea what I'm ever going to do with these like mile markers, because I didn't share them on social media. I've not done anything with them. But Linda ended up doing the same thing, and neither of us really knew what, so we all have the same things.
I felt like the medal was not enough. I needed a physical photo of each mile marker to show that I did it.
So the mile markers are amazing, y'all. Okay.
It just kind of dawned on me while you were talking. That is the only time I have ever been to all 4 parks in one day. That's always been a dream of mine to do, but now I've already done it.
We've done it. What is one thing or 2 things that stood out like during marathon?
I had no idea all of the things that they give out to you during marathon, because I apparently did zero research and just showed up to do a marathon. do your research.
Research.
I had no idea that there were like multiple things that I was going to be given to eat. Like there were a couple like ice cold bananas. Didn't know I like ice cold bananas. We got a very cold wet sponge, which was the highlight of my day. And I remember taking it from the cast member or volunteer, whoever it was, and telling him like, you are my favorite person of the day. And it never felt so good because it was so hot by then. Like, yes, you start at 5 a.m, but you know, if you take, you know, 5 to 7 hours to do your marathon, like it's going to be hot by the time you finish.
Yeah.
So like, and they know that they don't want us to get sick. They don't want us to get dehydrated. So there's Powerade at every stop. But yeah, I remember squeezing the sponge on my head and just holding it on my neck. And then like a few miles later, I don't remember how many miles, they all blur, but after you come out of the Blizzard Beach parking lot, which I never want to see again in my life, there was like a bag of ice being thrown at my face. And I was like, you're my new favorite person of the day.
I liked the ice. I don't know why. I was super entertained with it. And then I like opened it up and I'm like trying to eat it without like getting my hands all gross because it's like sweaty and nasty. So I'm like trying to like eat the ice. And it was just, it was a very pleasant surprise.
I have some pretty bad posture and I constantly like twitch my shoulders. So my shoulder running that long, I had no idea my shoulder was going to hurt. That's where I put my ice. I held it there for a while. And then I ripped open the bag when I was done and just poured the whole thing inside my shirt.
I mean,
best decision. But then there was ice again.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, like those little things stood out to me. The fact that they were like taking care of you. And like, if you have your own hydration vest or bottles or whatever, not only did they have water in cups for you, but they also had someone refilling your hydration packs and stuff, which I also thought was good because
they did a great job. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They did such a great job with dog hair. Sorry. They did a great job with like the hydration stations and with like keeping snacks and honey stingers and cold banana. There's 2 cold bananas. There was honey stingers. There was candy. I didn't train with a vest and I'm used to holding something. So I just figured I would hold my water bottle. But after doing the half, I was like, you know what? I think I will be okay. Cause you can grab as many waters or as many electrolytes as you would like. And they had the blue one. They had the blue Powerade, which for some reason that is actually delicious when you're running. I don't know why. But I was like, this is kind of, I will never drink it outside of a Run Disney race, but I will always opt for it if it's blue because it's good. I think
the med tents too. There were,
oh my gosh, they're fantastic.
Plenty of med tents. I saw so many people stopping and getting their blisters taken care of. I did not because I was afraid if I took my shoe off, it would never go back on. And I had the blisters to prove it. But it was the first time I ever stopped to like use anything. Like I needed Advil at one point. So like they had that. They have Vaseline if you're chafing. They have, and like, you know, they have like sticks to apply it. They had rubber gloves for BioFreeze, which I had never used.
BioFreeze.
Yep, that's works. And get a friend to help you apply it. Like if you need it on your back or whatever.
She helped me.
Hi, I'm the friend.
I was like, I want some of that on my back because all of a sudden my lower back, I was like, whoa, I hit 40 and I'm like, oh, I'm old. I was
using it. I have a knee injury, so I was using it on my knee just as like preventative. So that was cool because they were placed very strategically. And if for some reason you are super parched to the point that you cannot make it to the next water stop, the med tents will be able to help you. Like stop at a med tent, they'll get you water.
Yeah, I think that they did a really great job. There were points, I think that they did a great job on like the characters and the music and stuff. I know that a lot of people complained about, I'm going to call it like Dead Man's Road, only because it's between Animal Kingdom and Blizzard Beach, that it's just straight road. But honestly, like, again, it's mind over mentality. It's just mind over matter.
Yeah.
It's positive thinking, and it sucks because it's like people tend to be like around 17, 18, and 19. Those are like the miles where you're like, oh my gosh, this sucks. And I remember I talked to Anna and I was like, okay, Anna, like any advice, just give me one nugget of advice. And she was just like, take every step as every step and enjoy every moment because you will never get your first again. And I legit clung to that like it was life. And so every mile I was like, Linda, we're never going to see that one again. We're never going to see that two again. And it was continuously like that. But like that, those kind of like mental things, it helps you because no matter what, it's going to go down. So instead of counting up, like to get to like 10, 11, 12, 13, because some people between 13 and 17 and 18, it's just like you've already run a half marathon. You're not doing a double half marathon. It's just continuing on.
Right.
Because if you were to do 2 half marathons, you would be able to stop, refresh, like do it another day. That is not a philosophy that I like to take because it is just hard. And so counting down to a goal is for me was so much easier, and I never got stuck between 13 and 20. I was just like, dude, oh my God, we have like 5 left. That is it. And I was pumped and I was ready. So by mile 18 and 19, I was like, oh, I feel like I had gotten my like second because of that, because I was trying to take in every single moment of being like, oh my gosh, like this band is so great. And oh my gosh, there's this. But I mean, like, mind you, like I was not totally like that the entire time. There was one time where we had Stephanie Sorensen. She was running with us. She I don't know when she came on, maybe like mile 7, 8, 9, I don't know. But she stayed with us almost the entire way. And there was a time where I was in between Linda and Stephanie, and I had my headset on, and I was like, nope. And I just kind of quickly like went around real fast. And I just continued. I didn't say anything, but I just continued to run because for me, like at some point I needed to just be by myself for just a little bit. And it wasn't rude. And I quickly apologized and I was like, I'm not trying to be rude. And they're like, no, just do your thing. I think that also too, going into the difference between running with a group and running with a person or two, I really think that running a longer distance, sorry, my mom just texted me. She's leaving now. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
I think running a longer distance, it's easier to only have 1 or 2 people because you're not worried about every you guys, this goes for every 5K, 10K, half, full, 50K, whatever you want to do, 7 miler, I don't, it just goes to running in general. Everybody has a different pace and everybody feels bad if they feel like they're slowing somebody down. You will find if you get into like a big support group like TRPF or the runDisney community, or there's so many things out there, you guys, and I get it that not everything's for everybody or whatever, but the more you dive into things, the more you will find people who run the same way as you. And as you get to run Disney races or live races and you start doing with other people, no matter what, you are always going to be able to find somebody. But for the marathon in particular, it was really nice having Linda by my side the entire time because we adopted people and people kind of came and went. I think we ran with so many different people. It was like crazy, but Linda and me were constant because I was counting down and she was doing her 15:30. So we both kind of had roles to do, and it helped a lot to have that stable person. I was your stable person, right?
Of course.
Like, wait a second, just making sure.
No,
otherwise
I'm were the seagulls. The seagulls were my stability.
That was the half, and they were phenomenal. We will circle around to that, but they were my favorite people, though. I swear.
Well, actually, that's another cool point too. So the 15:30 you mentioned, that was the interval timing that we were doing. So
which we didn't find out about until the half because we ran with a full group of people that were doing that, and we're like, oh, this is kind of nice rather than running like straight.
I just put, I think it was like Interval Pro or whatever free interval app, but it was nice because it was only on my phone. So obviously, like when there's people around, not everyone could hear it. So that kind of kept me in the zone because I knew I had to listen to it because I was responsible, for you and for Stephanie Sorensen. Like we were running
everybody
together.
Who was around us. We kept on adopting people, and then people would leave, and then we would adopt people, and then people would
leave.
That's
what I was gonna get into. Like I would just yell, run, okay, walk, okay, run, walk. And like you two would do it every time. But then we had some people that found us after in the parking lot. They were like, by the way, we were using you to pace. So we were like, what?
Like we were so oblivious. But like, and that's the cool thing. is that during like also too like during all these like Run Disney things, they have pacer groups that you can
Yes.
pace with if you do not have anybody to run with. You can do that, but it's much more fun to try and find at least one person. But that was, I think that that was like a lifesaver type thing for the marathon, having you there as my side.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause
sometimes if we're
I
just
feel-
in, there would be some times where like I didn't want to run, and I would just be like, go ahead, and then you just see a hand up and down, meaning, and then your body just gets used to running and stopping. Like it just naturally got into it. And I think that
yeah.
that was good too.
The other thing about running with more people, it definitely is easier for the smaller distances, but also like I don't want to say you have to be a serious runner to do a marathon because I just run for fun. But there are a lot more serious runners for the longer distances too. So like it gets you have to have more of the like the running etiquette where like if you're running, you're on the left. And if you're slowing down, you're going over to the right. So people know what they're doing a little bit more. But I feel it also like, especially when you get to the areas that are bottlenecked, it is just hard to keep a group together. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So like you can start out together, but like you can't get upset if your group does not stick together the whole time. So definitely like, you know, Kristen and I, we live on literal opposite sides of the country, but we found out at Wine and Dine that we actually run the same pace, like without trying. So that actually worked out to our favor. But like, it's nice because I know that even if we're in a group, the two of us will typically stay together. And then, like you said, you'll find people along the way. Like we mentioned, Steph and Dan were walking so that she didn't re-injure herself. We still crossed the finish line at the same time. Like we found each other. And that was that probably is my favorite moment of maybe even the entire weekend was partying with some of our other friends who were doing their first ever dopey. Maria, I'm looking at you. And we were just like crying by the gospel choir, which is amazing.
Favorite moment. That's what I was going to say. That was my absolute favorite moment. I don't know what, I mean, I know what it is, but like after you run, like, and sorry, I'm hijacking. Go.
Well, no, you just like turn the
I got
corner
so excited.
and you just turned the corner and there was this gospel choir singing. And I had heard about them before, but I forgot they existed. And no one really knew if they were going to be back or not. So I was excited to see them. And then I saw Maria dancing and crying with her, you know, with that core group of friends. And we joined in. And then I turned around and Steph was right there too. And we got to finish the marathon with her. And we linked up with Jess and like, just, I was like, just
perfect.
I just said like way too many times, but it was
Steph's
perfect.
counting you.
Steph, comment below with how many times I said like.
Don't comment about mine. I'm from Southern California.
It really was just, I could not have asked for a better ending to that marathon. And I cried the entire last like 2 miles.
Yeah.
And I was like incoherent at that point.
You were. I think that was my favorite moment too, was coming around and seeing the choir. Because so the cool thing was, you guys, is that when we did the Musketeer run with the day before for the half, we ran with Maria and Anna. And it just naturally had to be that they were there and we were running towards it. And so Linda's holding on to Maria, both sobbing, and Anna and I are like totally sobbing. And like Anna was the one that gave me my advice too, to just enjoy every moment. So it was like a full circle moment of like, I'm like totally getting all teary-eyed. Because it was just this beautiful moment of like, gosh, like this is amazing, like what we did. And also I think it was like the release of like there was no more pressure of like having, like we didn't have that commitment of like we have to do this full, like we did it, we completed it. And like it's just, you guys, when you do your first one, or I think if you ever do anything that you do that's just hard and you complete it, it can be a Yeti, it can be like you ran a mile for the very first time straight through, like that feeling of like completion is just such a rewarding feeling. And that's what we got. And it was just this beautiful moment. And then being able to be there and at the finish, you know, we're taking pictures and stuff like that. And we had met people like JJ and DVC Joe and Steve. And we saw Shelly. and Sarah, like we saw, you know, all these people and stuff, and they're all celebrating. And like we didn't necessarily really know them before Wine and Dine. I mean, they say we did, but I mean, did we really? Just kidding. But you know, being like and this is another cool thing too, is that because of Instagram and the Run Disney circle, we got to know these people from Wine and Dine to Marathon. They were so proud of us, and they had just met us like a month or two ago, and it's just like they like gave us hugs, and they were like, we're like, you know, we're all crying, and like it's just this amazing experience that like it's just so great to do. Like you won't get that feeling, and you won't get that experience with any other race except Run Disney. Like hands down, it is Run Disney has that down packed. And I don't think I mean, like the Instagram and the feeling of Run Disney, like that's not Run Disney. That's the people coming together as one, because we are so excited about what we've done and what we are doing and how hard it took, and like learning from each other and giving, and just it's this beautiful thing of completion that we got to do.
And then you turn the corner and you get the marathon ears that nobody knew if they were going to be there or not.
I'm not gonna lie, that was also one of my favorite moments when I realized that we actually got it, because I was like, I'm never gonna do a marathon unless it's unless it's Run Disney, because I want the ears. If anybody knows who I am, I do not wear ears, like never. So the fact that I even wanted these like ridiculous plastic things, but I wore the crap out of them that day. I was like, yes, give it to me. I'm gonna wear them to Princess all week, all Princess long. I ran a marathon. Did you know that? Excuse me.
Steph is bringing mine. I left mine in Steph's car.
You obviously didn't care about yours. Mine are on the ground. So, you know, cheers.
I think so. One of my biggest takeaways, I think, from marathon, for me, that was really important. My husband wasn't there, and my family was not there at the finish line. That was a little bit of miscommunication. They're going to be there next year. They are local. They're going to come watch me. And that was really upsetting to me. And I didn't think it was going to, because I've never had anyone waiting for me at the finish line for, you know, for the half or anything. And when I got to mile 20, my body started to physically, like I had knee pain and I had shoulder pain and I was hot and I didn't want to be there anymore. But I was trying really hard not to show that to the people I was running with, because I didn't want to bring down the mood. And then we hit the boardwalk, and all I could remember was what you had told me about what Anna said about how remember every step. And so we hit the boardwalk, and that's when I knew we were finishing. And I lost it, and I think I cried from boardwalk all the way to the finish. But I still felt like I was missing something. So I was texting my husband, and I was just like, I really wish you were here. Like, I wish that you were going to be at the finish line and that I could hug you. And he sent me back this video of him and my kids. And like, that was really what got me to the finish line. I wasn't going to cry. And it was just a silly video of him and my kids sitting on the couch, and my kids are just yelling, go mommy, go, you can finish the race. And like, they're 4 and 6. They don't know what it takes to do a marathon. They just know mommy runs on the treadmill sometimes wearing tutus. Like, they don't know what it takes, or how far that is, or how long it takes, or what it like physically takes out of you. But that video, I think I played it 3 times running through Epcot, because I just needed it, and it got me to the finish line. And I sent him a video of myself crying, getting my medals. And like, so having a support, whether that is your spouse or a fellow runner or a friend or someone you've never met from the internet, if you have someone on standby that you can call or text when you're in the ruts, like, because I mean, it's not that my friends in person were not giving me that motivation.
Because I was.
You were, but I shut everybody out. I think at one point I just shut everybody out, and I was like, I'm just done.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that.
No, and I said that after. I said I purposely did not tell anybody, because I didn't want to bring it down. Like, I didn't want to be the reason.
I would have pushed you. It's fine.
Right off the boardwalk. You're done.
Just kidding.
But that was important to me, and not everybody.
Oh, totally.
That, but having that support system to fall back on helped me cross the finish line. It wasn't everything, but it helped.
And I think that that's where like the Run Princess family honestly comes into play, like really, really big. Because, okay, so this is what I've noticed about myself. For anybody who runs with me, I don't mean to be rude. I don't talk. I don't check my phone. I literally try to just be, and I even did that like during Wine and Dine actually, quite a bit, but I really focused on being in the moment at marathon weekend. And I think it was also due to fear. So like, that was probably a lot of the reason why I was quiet, but I don't check my text. I don't check my phone or whatever. I had a lot of texts from like Lisa, which we ran the 10K at Wine and Dine. And I had a few other texts from other people. And I was like, how do you know where I am? Like, I was so confused because I was getting texts. You're almost there. You got this. Like, you're looking so good. And I was like, like, you're in a different state. What's happening? I'm so confused. And come to find out, which is phenomenal because I was the last person to find out about this. Like, all of TRPF was like tracking everybody who was doing the marathon and posting it on the walls. Everybody was sending messages through PMs, like everything. Like, I completely missed all of this. But it was so great to come back to and know that we had the love and the support of, 3,300 people that like wanted to for us to succeed at something that we had trained so hard for. And I think that like, there's a lot of times when our family or our friends, or like coworkers or whatever, they don't understand what we're doing and why we're training. They don't understand that, I have to go get 12 miles on Christmas Day. Or on Thanksgiving, it's like, can we push dinner back a little bit because I have to go do my long miles. They don't understand how hard it is to take these extra minutes and miles and moments away from our family to train for something that is this big and important to us. But when you put it in a group of people who just love and support and understand, it translates into this beautiful, naturally organic relationship that you're just so appreciative that you have every single person in there cheering for you. And honestly, like, I was floored when I found out, because I remember it was Julie Dennis's, am I allowed to see people's last names on here? I just realized that I don't know if I should say that or not. Julie, I just winked. That got weird. It was Julie's post that I realized that people were like cheering us and following us. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry that I never realized this. But like, Shanna was like sending Linda messages like, is Kristen okay? Like, how are you guys doing? Are we alive? Because I completely shut down. I love getting texts. I think it's amazing. And messages and stuff, but like, I suck at texting back because I just need to focus on what is happening next. That mile marker's done. That mile marker's done. That, I need to do this and this, like, in order for me to like finish. So I think that was like, get yourself a group of solid people who will cheer you on. It doesn't have to be TRPF, but like, just get a group of people who want to love and watch you succeed, because it is phenomenal.
If it is TRPF, though, they will also track the balloon ladies for you and let you know how much time you have.
And also the TRPF ladies are truly 1 in a million, or 3,300 in a million. I don't know.
They are special.
It's amazing. Okay. Oh wait, we already talked about highlights. I have a list. Well, you had a list, and I'm like looking at it, and then I see my tan face.
A big suggestion that I learned from the marathon, just while you're looking at that, was I will always and forever bring a checked bag now. I never did because I never thought I needed it. I was like, that's just another pain that I have to like worry about after. After the marathon, I would have paid you $100 for a pair of UFOs. Like, I would have probably $200. I wanted nothing more than to take off my shoes and my socks, and I couldn't do that because I didn't have a checked bag. So check your bag, put like they get the clear bag that you get at the expo with your bib and all that stuff in it. That's what they want you to bring to check your bag with at the races. So put your UFOs in there. If you have a massage gun, put that in there. You have BioFreeze or CBD rub, whatever you want after the race, put that in there. Sunscreen, whatever, like, sunscreen actually.
That's what I was gonna say.
The race. They also had that at the med tents too, but sunscreen. Like the song. And
there's a song.
There's a song. It's more like a speech, like said to music. I'll send it to you later.
Comment below if you've ever heard that before.
Wear sunscreen. But yeah, put it in your checked bag and then get it after so you can take off those stinky shoes and let your like blisters not be trapped, because that is all I wanted. All I wanted. I couldn't walk after the marathon because I didn't prep right. I now have gotten some suggestions on like how to tape my hot spots and like creams and stuff to use before the race.
Happy toes.
Yeah. Do your long runs prior to the race so you know what's going to happen, because I didn't.
Yeah. We're also going to have I don't know if it'll be YouTube or not, but every Monday we go live, and next week we're going to be talking about Princess and kind of like prepping for Princess, because by then it'll be 2 weeks out. Important. I think that was pretty much it. I don't remember. That was weird. It went like dark and then light. Aliens. If I get abducted, you can call the police because we're live. So you'll know.
I'll call Colson.
Whatever. You should call Colson because that's phenomenal. I don't remember though us having to go through security check.
So they don't do bag checks anymore. They switched it now. So that's why there's a little bit more extra walking before you start the race, because you go through the metal detector. So if you set off the metal detector,
I don't remember. Oh wait, no, we did. Because okay. So funniest story was it the 5K or the 10K?
Don't remember.
We're all walking. Okay. Also, mind you, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Okay. So there's 6 of us. It was Steph, Dan, Jenny, and then us. And Solen maybe. We're all walking to. It was either the 5K or the 10. No, it must have been the 10K because I had a bell. And so like the bell's ringing like this, ding, 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 ding. And like for like a half a mile. And it's not bothering me, but apparently it was driving Stephanie crazy. And so right before the security check thing or whatever, she grabbed it and she was just like, this is how you hold it. And she silenced it, right? So I walked through the security check and then she walked and it dinged on her. And so she had to go like she had to go get the thing checked. And it was just really funny because I was like, that's what you get for taking my toy. So
don't take Kristen's toys.
Don't take them.
So they do that a little different now. You go through the metal detector instead of a bag check.
That's what triggered it, because I couldn't remember anything. But also you don't remember a lot of things at like 3 o'clock in the morning. You just don't. You
just follow the herd.
Yeah.
Good or bad. That's what you do.
So real fast, we're gonna what's some advice that you would give to anybody who did not just necessarily marathon, but just a runDisney race?
My advice is to find a training plan and stick to it, because that's when you are, whether it's a 5K for the first time that you've never done one before, or whether it's a marathon and you've done 15 of them, there will be points where you're worried and where you're not sure you're going to make it, and it's going to be hard mentally and physically. But if you've done that training, you know you can just rely on that. Like your training will get you through, and just be in the moment, because the adrenaline and the surrounding of people will get you through.
Yeah. I would say have all of your stuff set up the night before, because 2 o'clock comes early and it comes fast. And especially if you are not one that can sleep very well at night, in like a different bed, sleep is few, far, and in between, to be totally honest. I think out of a 5-day trip, I normally get about 1 good night's sleep, I think. So like having, and it's also fun too. It's entertaining because then you get to show your outfits. So like do a, set up your outfits, put like your bib on it. Don't show the number. But have like have everything out, like make sure everything's charged, and then take a picture and then put it on Instagram and be like, this is what I'm going to wear tomorrow. And it's just fun. It's fun to just, so you can see everybody's outfit. And then also for people who are cheering and stuff, they know what you look like. So they can they know what you look like so they can cheer you. I was gonna say something else and I can't really remember.
And a snack for the corrals, because
honestly, it doesn't have to be big. Just something like a half an apple, or just even for the 5K and the 10K, eat something small.
You stand in those corrals for a very long time. You get up at 2 the first wave doesn't start until 5. If you're in the back, you're starting at 6. That's 4 hours before you even start to run. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared for that time. And if you don't think you're going to make it until, 8, 9 o'clock to eat something, then bring like one of those Stroop waffles or like a half a banana or something like that.
Yeah.
There's trash cans everywhere, so you'll be fine.
Also, too, if you're going to check a bag, put a snack in it. Put something that you would legit eat. Because you get the box, you get the cheese, you get the chips, and it's what I don't even know what else is in there. But I think they were possibly different between Wine and Dine and Marathon. I don't remember.
No, they were the same, but they had the big giant goldfish graham crackers that
I
were
didn't eat
delicious.
mine. Oh. I still have mine, and I still have both cheeses, so there's that. I mean, like,
you're handed so much stuff at that finish line between the box and your banana and a water and a Powerade and your medal and all that. If you have a check bag, instant thing
you can just dump it.
Yeah.
But bring something that will fuel you immediately so that you can continue on, because between so like 2 o'clock you get up, 5 o'clock the race starts, 6 o'clock your crawl starts. Let's say it's a 5K, so you're done by, like, let's be realistic, 8 o'clock, because it'll take you between 2 and 3 hours if you want to take all the photos. You get all of your stuff and then you take photos. That's coming around 10. I think the last bus probably leaves around 10, and then you still have to go to your room. Do you have food in your room? Probably not. And then, like, so by the time you've been up since 2 and you haven't eaten yet, and now your choices are the cheese and the chips and the graham cracker. Go to the grocery store, get room service or whatever it is. Just get some stuff, fly with it. I fly with snacks. I fly with specific snacks that I need, because I would rather, you don't want to try something new on race day.
Right.
Ever. And like having something that you don't know if it'll mess up your belly or not, you don't even want to worry about that. But you also don't want to eat like not eat for 12 hours. So you just don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're starving and then you become hangry, and then because everyone's tired and then everybody starts getting on each other's nerves.
Yep.
At least in my mind, that's the way it happened, because that hasn't happened to us. But was there anything else? I think that was it.
Think we covered a lot of it.
Yeah, that was good. It was only like an hour and a half, I think.
And I can't wait until we do Dopey next year.
Kurt's still watching. Hi, honey.
Just kidding.
We're just lying, Kurt. No, well, originally I wasn't gonna do Dopey, and then you said that you and Mike were doing it, and that was the only time you were ever gonna do it again. So I want to do Dopey.
I want to be able to cheer. I wanted to do Dopey this year, but we couldn't swing it for both of us to go, so I wasn't going to go at all. And then I promised him if I did go, I wouldn't do Dopey without him. So next year, we're going to do Dopey together. My kids are actually going to do part of it. They're going to do their first 5K, and we're going to be the most amazing Peter Pan costume you've ever seen, unless they change their mind because we have 11 months. But we're going to do Dopey together. But then I do continue to want, or I'm going to want to continue to go for marathon weekend, but I'm not a long distance runner. Yes, it's fun, and I am so glad I did it, and I have like such major highs even just thinking about what we did. But my knee's not meant for it long term. So I want to go and I want to be able to cheer. I want to do one Dopey. So then I'll have done a Goofy, I'll have done a Dopey, and then I can go and cheer. Maybe I'll run the 5 and the 10, but I want to physically be on the other side for the half and the full.
Yeah, I definitely want to cheer for a full. And I think so, like, same. I mean, if you're doing Dopey 2023, I mean, we already had this conversation. So we're going to run 2023 together, because it's funny too, because I remember like I was so hesitant to even run the first marathon because I was like, this is a stupid distance. Like I just don't want to do this. But I ended up doing it. I think it's amazing. And I think that it's hard enough to where you feel like a badass finishing. That's essentially what it is. Like completing something, again, what we're talking about, completing something that you've worked so hard for and finishing it is just this amazing feeling. So 2023,
only 1% of people can say that they've accomplished it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just phenomenal. But I do want to cheer. But I know that I will go back again and do Dopey again. I think that will be not every year, not every other year, but like maybe every like 2 or 3 or 4 years.
I guess I
5.
should never say never.
Or 5. I just learned with runDisney, you just never say never.
Right.
Because you just, FOMO is a real thing. And once you've experienced something, it is so much harder to say no to doing that the following year. Because more and more people
Yep.
come and you create beautiful friendships with other people. And then you're just like, oh, wait a second. Like, this is really, really awesome. And I want to see these people again. And then all of a sudden it becomes this big family. And then when you're on the course, legit never alone, ever.
Yep.
You see people everywhere and you are like having conversations with everybody. And it is like phenomenal. Therefore, I don't think I'll ever really do other races again. I mean, maybe like once a year. I'm thinking about another race, but I'm like, do I really want to though? But okay, so would you like to say anything else before we cut this out? I don't know why I said it like that.
Just thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. We so appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop them below. And we will try to answer them in a timely fashion. And thank you guys for being a part of TRPF. If you guys are not a part of it, we are on Facebook and we are on Instagram. It is the Run Princess Family on Facebook. We've got Winter Challenge right now, and we're gonna be scooching into Summer Challenge here shortly once all the snow melts. And then we have free events every single weekend for you guys to just kind of get involved and dress up and just know that you're not alone. And it's a great way to meet people and then go to runDisney. So knowing that just you're not alone, you know. And then we are also on Instagram at the Run Princess Family. And that's a great way to contact us if you need anything else. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Have a great day. I don't know what day this is airing. So have a great time with the rest of the day.